In quiet neighborhoods, power goes wrong.
I heard my wife cry out from behind the ER doors. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just one word, my name, the way someone says it when they're scared and running out of strength. I turned the corner and saw a woman in a blazer gripping my pregnant wife's arm, pulling her away from a hospital bed. And in that moment, I knew two things. This was wrong. And someone had just made a mistake they could never undo. My wife, Sarah, was 7 months pregnant. We came to the ER because she was dizzy, nauseous, and experiencing sudden pain. The triage nurse didn't hesitate, she brought Sarah back immediately. Hospitals are where fear is supposed to end. Where rules are replaced by care. I thought we were safe. I was wrong. Her name was Diane Keller, president of our HOA. She recognized Sarah the moment she saw her bracelet. You, Diane said sharply, pointing. You owe the HOA fines. I stepped forward. This is a hospital. Diane smiled thinly. And this is still my community. A nurse tried to intervene. Ma'am, she's a patient. Diane waved her off. She violated parking rules. We've been trying to reach her. Sarah whispered, please. I don't feel well. That should have ended it. Instead, Diane grabbed her arm. I'm just escorting her out, Diane said. Sarah cried out as she was pulled from the bed. Monitors beeped faster. A nurse shouted for security. And from the hallway, I heard it all. I ran. The ER had cameras. So did the hallway. So did the nurse's station. And a medical student standing frozen near the door had already pulled out her phone. When I reached Sarah, she was shaking. She dragged me, Sarah whispered. I was scared. I stepped between them. Let go, I said. Diane laughed. Or what? 2 security officers rushed in. What's going on? Diane spoke fast. This woman is refusing to comply with HOA enforcement. One officer blinked. Ma'am, this is an emergency room. The nurse pointed at the monitors. She's pregnant. Diane froze. Security separated Diane from Sarah. A doctor rushed in, calm but firm. We're resuming care. Now. Diane protested. You can't. Security escorted her out. Not arrested. Not yet. But watched. And recorded. Later that night, a hospital administrator sat with us. There's footage, she said quietly. Clear footage. I nodded. So does the nurse's body cam, she added. And a witness video. Sarah squeezed my hand. Will it matter, she asked. I looked at her. It will. Sarah barely slept that night. Doctors kept her for observation. The baby's heartbeat was steady, but Sarah's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Every time someone opened the curtain, she flinched. I sat beside her bed, replaying the moment in my head, the grab, the pull, the sound of her voice when she called my name. I kept thinking the same thing. What if I'd been 30 seconds later? By morning, the hospital administration acted fast. Risk management. Legal counsel. Security supervisors. They reviewed the footage together. Multiple angles. Clear audio. No confusion. Diane entering a restricted area. Ignoring medical staff. Grabbing a pregnant patient. One administrator closed the laptop slowly. This never should have happened, she said. And it will not be covered up. By noon, the footage was released to authorities. By evening, it was public. Not sensationalized. Not edited. Just raw truth. The headline spread fast. HOA president removed pregnant patient from ER bed, incident under investigation. Comments poured in. Doctors, nurses, parents. Everyone said the same thing. Who does this woman think she is? At first, Diane claimed she was escorting. Then she said Sarah stood up voluntarily. Then, after the footage went viral, she stopped speaking altogether. Her lawyer issued a statement. There was a misunderstanding. The video disagreed. 2 days later, the district attorney announced charges: assault, interference with medical care, endangerment of a pregnant patient, trespassing in a restricted medical area. Because Sarah was pregnant, every charge carried enhanced penalties. The room went silent during the press conference. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. Diane's chair sat empty. Members spoke in hushed voices. This isn't a fine issue, one said. This is criminal. A vote was taken. Diane was suspended effective immediately. Her access revoked. Her authority stripped. The woman who once ruled by clipboard now had none. Sarah asked to speak to the investigator. Her voice was calm but firm. I didn't refuse anything, she said. I was scared. I was in pain. I needed help. She paused. She treated me like property. The investigator nodded. We hear that clearly. Civil attorneys stepped in. Medical experts. Security analysts. Every detail was documented. Because this wasn't just about Sarah. It was about every patient who trusted that hospital to be safe. Late Friday afternoon, Diane was taken into custody. No cameras this time. No shouting. Just handcuffs and silence. She looked stunned. Not angry. Stunned. The courtroom hadn't seen the tape yet. And when it did, everything would change. No one expected this much attention. Journalists lined the walls. Medical professionals filled the benches. HOA members sat stiff, avoiding eye contact. Sarah sat beside me, hands folded over her stomach. The baby kicked once. Like a reminder, I'm still here. Diane walked in slowly. No confidence. No clipboard. No authority. Just a woman in a plain suit, eyes darting, jaw tight. She didn't look at Sarah. Didn't look at me. She stared straight ahead, like if she didn't move, this might all disappear. It didn't. The prosecutor stood. This case is not about an argument, he said. It's about control. And what happens when someone believes rules matter more than human life? He turned slightly. And today, the truth will speak for itself. Diane's attorney stood next. She was concerned, he claimed. She believed there was a violation of community conduct. That's when the judge interrupted. Counsel, she said sharply, this is a hospital. Not a homeowners' meeting. Murmurs spread through the room. The prosecutor nodded to the clerk. Your Honor, we'd like to present Exhibit A. The lights dimmed. The screen lowered. Sarah's fingers tightened around mine. Clear footage. No edits. Diane entering the ER. Ignoring security. Sarah lying in the bed. The grab. Sarah's voice shaking, scared. I'm pregnant. Please don't touch me. A nurse shouting. Security rushing in too late. The courtroom was silent. Someone gasped. Another whispered, "Oh my God." The video ended. No sound. No movement. Then, a woman in the back stood up. I'm a nurse, she said, voice trembling. And that is not help. That is assault. The judge banged the gavel. Order. But it was already too late. The lie was gone. Diane's shoulders slumped. She whispered something to her lawyer. He didn't respond. The prosecutor stood again. This wasn't a mistake, he said. It was entitlement. After deliberation, the jury returned quickly. Too quickly. The foreman stood. On all counts, guilty. Sarah exhaled for the first time in days. Tears streamed down her face. Not fear. Relief. The judge didn't hesitate. "Ms. Diane," she said, "you abused power in the place people are most vulnerable." She paused. "You are sentenced to incarceration, probation following release, and permanent removal from any HOA leadership role." A final strike of the gavel. This court is adjourned. The hospital updated its security policies. The HOA dissolved its leadership and restructured. And Sarah? She went home. Safe. Protected. Respected. Weeks later, we stood in the nursery. Soft light. Quiet. Sarah smiled as she felt the baby move again. "This child," she said softly, "will never know what it's like to be powerless." I nodded. Because some lines, once crossed, can never be ignored again.